Hello, my YouTube friends. Today I bought Bristol Myers squibb along with Cracker Barrel. So stick around for the video. I'll get into the reasons I bought those, what I like, what I don't like, and you can see from there my thought process. Good morning. My name is Adam Kahn, and this is Investing with Adam K. I hope you're all doing well. Today is Friday, May 17th. Like I keep saying, the year's just flying by. It blows my mind. So today I brought Bristol Myers squibb. Um, I think I know that you, or I think you guys have been watching, and you know that Pfizer was one I really liked, but it began to trend upwards, and I don't really like to chase things. And when I look, Bristol Myers squibb, which I see is pretty similar, but diversifying a little bit, but in the same field or same area, they're still right around the lows. It's paying a nice, healthy dividend of over 5%, and they're big and boring, and I don't really see them going anywhere. So I bought them in my dividend account, and I put on maybe 50 to 70% of what I would want to put on, and plan to hold that one for a long time. Healthcare is out of favor, or some of the drug companies, and I don't know if any or how many of you saw the other video when I talked about I got out of a position in Abbvie that had done real well for me, but I felt like it's run pretty far, and I see so many YouTubers talking about it. It concerns me that people are a little overexcited about the company, so maybe it's a little frothy in price. Again, I think it's a great company. There's no reason that somebody shouldn't own it. If you're going to own something 10 or 20 years, I think they're very good. I think emotions really drive the over exaggerated pricing. And to me, no matter how great Abbvie is, if it's a little oversubscribed to and too many people are talking about it in what I see, maybe it's gone a little far. I still want to have some money dedicated to that space. So Pfizer and Bristol Myers, which have been out of favor, I feel like, especially based on some of the comments from people who hate them and think they're terrible and whatever else, and not because political reasons or things like that, just think, they're going lower and things are terrible. In some ways, that's a little bit of what I look for. They're good companies. I see no problem with them. So when the news is negative and people are not liking the companies, I kind of feel like you're getting them on sale. And they can of course go lower. The news can be correct and it can push them to be much worse, and maybe they end up cutting their dividends because dividends are not a guarantee. But really that's when I look to get into stocks that I'm looking to hold for a while. The other one I mentioned in the beginning that I picked up today is Cracker Barrel. The stock ticker, if you're not familiar with it, is CBRL, and Bristol Myers is BMY for those of you who want to look it up. So Cracker Barrel came out with a statement that they're going to cut their dividend from $1.30 a share down to 25 cents a share, which is a huge cut. They say that they're having trouble with people coming in and they're just not as busy and they're actually going to have to close some stores. This is legitimately bad news. And if you own the stock already, sorry, it had a really rough day today. But now that the news is out, the stock's already reacted to it. It dropped to below $50 a share at one point today. I think that becomes attractive in my mind. If they're going to close stores that aren't profitable, they're going to use the money that they're not giving out in the dividend to kind of restructure, regain their footing, and work on growing the ones that are having success. It's not one of the companies I'm dying to own. It's not one of those companies I'm going to have any huge position in. I only bought maybe 10, maybe 20% of what I'd really want to own because if I'm wrong and it keeps going lower, like Cracker Barrel is not the company that I put in that group of just the companies that I think are the best of the best. But I think the news is bad enough and it got cheap enough that maybe I want to have a little bit in my portfolio. Probably silly. The reality is I want to hyper focus on the companies like Amazon and Google and the ones I think are really wonderful. And that's why I say I wouldn't really put Cracker Barrel in that category. And for those of you who know that I have three different accounts that I have, I actually put the Cracker Barrel in my trading account because I just don't know that I'm actually going to keep it. I don't want to get too too dedicated to it or really like stuck with it because again, I just don't see it as the best of the best, and what I really want to focus on is when the best of the best are discounted. When I'm looking for the market or at the market, I'm still trying to see what I think is inexpensive. Starbucks is probably still inexpensive, despite it turning my stomach that I actually added on to my position. I will stand by. I still think it's a great brand. The news was about as bad as it could be. I'm really frustrated, as you all know, with the CEO. And as much as it turns my stomach, the reality is that's kind of what I talk about. Great companies with bad news. If I give them the 10 years, like that is one of the ones I want to own in the safe deposit box. And if I'm wrong and it goes to zero and Starbucks just goes out of business, well, I made a mistake. I'm spread out enough that I'll move on and that's okay. But I also don't envision that happening. And maybe their business slows down, but maybe they get things right and it turns around and it can double or triple over the next 10 or 20 years. And then the last thing I did in my account is I actually lightened up on Best Buy. Um, I did that over the past couple days, little bit by little bit, simply because the news on retail hasn't been great for everybody. Some have been doing well, some haven't been. And I do have a bit of concern when they report in the next week or so, I don't remember exactly when it is, that they might be one of the ones that are impacted by things slowing down. Kind of like Cracker Barrel. They haven't pre announced anything, they haven't said anything to that, but the stock isn't acting exactly how I would like it to be. And it feels like heavy, so I thought better be safe than sorry and used a little of that as well to move into the Bristol Myers. And Best Buy, as I've mentioned in the other ones, isn't some company I just think is the greatest company either. So I'd rather be in things I really do think are great companies that I don't mind owning for a long time. Two other things I actually bought was I did buy a lawnmower and I bought a blower. We've been having trouble finding good yard people. It drives me nuts. Whoever runs the company and everything else, they come in, they say wonderful things. They go on and on about how they'll do this and that. Well, my wife and I have been doing a lot of it ourselves anyway. And then when the staff starts doing it, they come in, they're in and out in 5 minutes, they blow some leaves away, and that's the extent of it. So I figured, forget it. We'll start doing it ourselves. I bought an electric lawnmower because we only have this tiny patch of real grass. What you see back here is fake grass in the front. And then I bought an electric blower, which maybe I should have bought a much more powerful one because it's kind of wimpy. But either way, my thought is I'll get off my butt from time to time and do some of the work myself. Um, Probably should anyway. We've really enjoyed it. We got a Asian pear tree and we got a fig tree and an orange tree that we're hoping those, I don't expect much out of them this year, but I'm hoping by next year or the year after we actually can have some fruit to eat off of them. And we like all that stuff. So those were the other two things I bought and probably the most important. And today I'm super excited. I'm actually having lunch with a YouTuber I watch as well who does finance. Depending on what we talk about, I'll let you guys in on that and tell you. I'm sure some of you watch him as well, so I'm kind of looking forward to going and meeting him at lunch. If you pick up on it, we're going to Juan's Flaming Fajitas here in Las Vegas. He sometimes talks about it in his, he does live and he also does other stuff. So I'm hoping it's fun. I'm hoping he and I have a nice time, and we'll see how it goes. And lastly, before I sign off, if you haven't already, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, smash the like button. Like I said, I can't tell you how much that helps. I really appreciate you guys watching and commenting. It's super cool. So have a great day. Beautiful out here. I'll probably talk tomorrow. Have a great weekend if I don't have time to say hi. And I'll talk to you soon.